What's up, it's your boy Dynast. At the end of this video, make sure you go to www.dynastmere.com. Check out our indigenous African art, jewelry, fashion, and accessories. Also go to searchforhoover.com. Learn more information on the documentaries we're shooting. Also contribute towards those documentaries. Last but not least, go to amazon.com, search your name Dynast Mere, buy a book. I've written several of them, so please support and buy one. It's cold as hell in Atlanta right now. Just wanted to put that out there. So if you're coming to Atlanta, bring a jacket. It's cold as shit. Wanted to shoot this video on how we should not confuse dusty, ratchet behavior with African culture. Now, there's a picture that surfaced of Sierra with her naked self and her naked 4-year-old baby. And then you have Russell Wilson on one knee, I guess, and it looks like his head is up Sierra's butt, and his arms are wrapped around Sierra's stomach, pregnant stomach. Now, we all know that this photo was taken to be vindictive and get back at Future, and that Russell Wilson is being used as a pawn. I mean, Russell Wilson is now officially the biggest simp on the planet. I don't know why. Someone in that Seattle Seahawks locker room needs to have an honest conversation with Russell Wilson. Somebody needs to talk to him, okay? If y'all really care about this man. This man has went from the Super Bowl quarterback to an all-star simp in a matter of 2 years or a year and a half, whatever, since he's married Sierra or started dating her. He's went from a Super Bowl quarterback to an all-star simp. Somebody in that locker room needs to have an honest conversation with this guy, because this guy is being played. But needless to say, many people are comparing this this dusty, ratchet photo with, you know, photos that you might see or even see on my page of African women, tribal, indigenous African women, tribal African women in their village. You know, they might be topless, or they are topless, with their kids. And my thing is, like, we should not confuse dusty, hood, ratchet behavior with African culture. There's another photo that surfaced with there was a couple. They both had tattoos all over their face. All right, you know, they had the cross in the middle of the forehead, you know, the gun on the side, ice cream cones, and they had lightning bolts and all types of crazy shit on their face. And they tried to compare that with, you know, certain tribes in Africa that do the tribal scarification. And again, I just find it odd that sometimes when a lot of black Americans participate in dusty behavior, they all of a sudden want to compare it. They become conscious all of a sudden and want to compare it to African culture. You have to understand, a lot of things that the majority of rituals or the majority of what you see indigenous African peoples participating in when it comes to their culture is rooted in a spiritual practice. It has an actual meaning to it. Versus a lot of what you see in black American culture is just what's fucking trending. There's nothing spiritual about it. It's what's trending. Or like in Sierra's case, it's just something you're doing doing vindictively to get back at your ex-boyfriend or fiance, Future, whatever he was. You know, trust me, there's nothing rooted spiritually with an ice cream cone on your fucking face. None of that is based in anything spiritually. Or a freaking gun on your face or a cross. That's just what's popular. Versus the Mercy tribe or the Phone tribe in Benin, when they get trauma scarification, there's like an actual meaning to it. In fact, next time you see somebody on the street with a freaking gun tattoo on their face, ask them what spiritual practice is that rooted in? Where does that come from? It's just what's trending. Same thing when motherfuckers have their pants sagging and their asses is hanging out. That's just what's trending. It's cool, I guess. So again, we should not confuse dusty, ratchet behavior with African culture. Should not be confused. Totally separate. Now I have tattoos all over my arm. You know, I have you know, long sleeves on and a jacket, so because it's kind of cool outside. You know, So I never. Now, when I got my tattoos done, the last thing on my mind was. Actually, I take that back. I do have a lot of tattoos that symbolize Africa. And one day I'll go into explanation on my tattoos and what they mean and why I got them done. There was a method to my madness, I guess, because my mom thought I was crazy that I got sleeves all over my arms, and my dad. Well, tattoos all over my arms, and my dad. But there was actually it was actually rooted in something spiritual and something bigger, as far as my tattoos go. But I'm not going to confuse my tattoos with Africa. Like, you won't hear me say, well, I got these tattoos done because this certain tribe in Africa has tattoos or they practice tribal scarification. No. I mean, there's something spiritual in my tattoos, but, I'm not going to implicate any type of African tribe as far as my tattoos goes. Okay? And that's how it should be. All right? Leave African culture, indigenous African culture and practices out of this. All right, let's not confuse the two. Again, when people get tattoos on their face, it has nothing to do with the Mercy or Phone tribe, with the tribal scarification. When Sierra's taking pictures butt naked with her butt naked baby and her simp husband, it has nothing to do with the tribe, with the Himba tribe, because they walk around have topless or whatever in nature. With their kids in the village. Please don't confuse the two. So let's stop confusing dusty ratchet behavior with African culture, because it's completely separate, completely different. Again, African culture, indigenous culture is rooted in something is rooted in something spiritual and a higher power. Is rooted in honoring their ancestors. Versus what you see, the dusty ratchet behavior you see often here in America is rooted in dusty ratchet behavior that's trending. What you see in the villages, when I see in the villages when I go to Africa, they've been doing for thousands of years. Okay, their spiritual practices, their culture, they've been practicing for thousands of years. Versus here in America, amongst Black Americans, if it's not trending 2 days from now, they're going to take it, throw it away, and participate in what's trending. So that's why you should not confuse the two, because, again, one is rooted in a higher power, the other is rooted in what's trending now. And what's trending could change any day now. So there it is. Because I remember 10 years ago, to get tattoos on your faces, you were crazy. So yeah, don't confuse the two. And again, with Sierra's situation, that's just something vindictive. She's done out of spite to get back at her ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance future, and her husband is just a pawn. And I wish somebody would have a conversation with Russell Wilson, how he's just being played. Please, Seattle Seahawks players, if you're watching this, have a conversation with that man and let him know he's being played. So again, do not confuse African culture with dusty ratchet behavior, because dusty ratchet behavior is based on something that's trending, on what's trending. And in the case of Sierra, it's just something she's doing out of spite to be vindictive towards her ex-fiance, versus African culture, which is rooted in spirituality, honoring the ancestors, which they've been doing for thousands of years, versus dusty ratchetness, which could change any day of the week. Follow me on social media. Search for Who on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Dynasty Samir. Till next time, I'm out.